For those of you who haven't watched Season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, don't worry, because this new season begins with the past, way before the events of Season 1. A young sorcerer named Suguru is walking down the streets looking for ghosts and other paranormal creatures. He talks about how he was busy that summer because ghosts don't stop doing magic. In an alley, Suguru spots a ghoul feasting happily on a human body. So he uses sorcery and a blue fire burns the ghoul. Then Suguru eats a blue ball. The fruit of his hard work, I guess. He talks about how something happened in his past, and he should have made the choice to save the people as a sorcerer. Elsewhere, 3 women sorcerers talk about an abandoned mansion which once belonged to a rich family. But after some incident, the mansion was abandoned, and it is now haunted. Young high school and university level students tend to come here as a test of courage. There are many rumors surrounding the place, and some sort of damage is prominent in that area. Recently, 3 elementary school students went missing on their way home from school. They hope that searching for these victims will lead them to the secret of the mansion. They go to the mansion, which is now covered with weeds, shrubs, and all sorts of plants. All in all, it's pretty creepy looking. 2 of the women, Utahime and Mei, go inside and investigate. The inside is pretty creepy too, as it definitely looks abandoned and haunted. Utahime is hesitant to go in, but Mei seems more experienced and confident, so she walks in, and Utahime follows her. Mei gives her a flashlight, saying that she herself does not need it. Utahime tries on the lights, and surprisingly, the electricity seems to be working. Mei and Utahime decide to investigate 2 different floors separately, which can never be a good thing in a horror place like this. Utahime investigates her floor alone, while also being a wee bit scared. She reaches a room with a hangman's noose. She also opens lots of other rooms but finds nothing. But suddenly she hears a strange scratching sound under the bed. She goes to investigate and 3 rats run towards her. The scariest thing in the world. She runs outside, panting for her breath, and Mei further scares her by grabbing her from behind. They relax and check their surroundings. In the corridor, Mei points out snacks, soda cans, a backpack, and a trouser. She says that she's already seen the same thing 3 times, even though she has been walking a straight line down the corridor. Also, she put a dark mark on the wall before. Then she walks straight, but the mark appeared here again, meaning they are walking in a loop. Or rather, some sort of magic is making them move down the same corridor again and again on a loop. They continue down the corridor, coming to the same place again and again. Mei thinks that this is due to some cursed barrier. The rich person's family must have also died of this very curse. Utahime takes the snack boxes and makes a circle to show the loop they are in right now. But she says that this loop is probably not a circle. It's probably a straight line that keeps getting reconstructed when they move through it. If they move through very, very fast, then they should be able to break through it before the loop can get reconstructed. To make it more effective, Utahime and Mei decide to run in opposite directions. Utahime runs down the right, and suddenly the whole construction starts getting unraveled behind her. It almost collapses right on top of her, but she runs fast enough and gets out. Bits and pieces of the whole mansion fly up the skies and fall down to the ground, forming circular marks all over the area. A man comes and says that he saved them, and it's our favorite white-haired teacher. Kakashi? Gojo! A teenage Gojo, in fact. This was way before he became a teacher and all that. Turns out, he was the one who broke the barrier just now. Gojo teases Utahime by asking if she's crying, which makes her really, really angry, understandably. He also adds that Mei would never cry because she's a strong woman. Utahime gets up to yell at him when suddenly a giant curse appears from behind her and prepares to attack her. But Suguru arrives immediately and summons a spirit that consumes the curse. Utahime is really embarrassed and even more angry. Just then, another one of their friends, Shoko, appears and asks if Utahime is alright. Utahime loves Shoko, and she immediately runs to her and hugs her. She tells Shoko not to become like Gojo and Suguru. Then Gojo and Mei talk about how he won't be here in 2 days because of some reason, which Utahime does not seem to understand. Then Mei asks where Tabari is, which shocks Gojo, Suguru, and Shoko while confusing Utahime. Gojo, Suguru, and Shoko are second-year students at the Tokyo Jujutsu High School for Sorcerers. Their teacher, Yaga, scolds them for going off the rails without supervision. Yaga asks who was responsible, and both Shoko and Suguru point their fingers at Gojo. What friends these are! Gojo gets a hammer punch to his head. Later, the 3 of them play around in the basketball court while discussing the nature of curses and its monsters. Suguru says that the only thing that can stop a curse from happening is the peace in people's heart. Survival of the fittest. The job of the sorcerer is to protect the weak and destroy the strong. Their sorcery exists for this reason. But Gojo does not agree with this. He thinks that if you have to force someone to do something, then you are weak. Shoko immediately realizes what's happening, so she develops wheels instead of her legs and runs away. Suguru challenges Gojo to a fight while summoning a creepy-looking spirit behind him. Gojo also seems like he's just itching to take up that fight. But just then, Yaga enters the gym, and so the two boys have to pretend like they're best friends, which they probably are. Yaga gives them a mission to complete, which annoys both of them. Yaga says that it's an order from Lord Tengen, who is an immortal sorcerer responsible for the barriers that protect their Jujutsu high schools. Yaga says that he wants the Holy Order and the bodyguard of a special girl, who you can see naked right here. For some reason. Plot reasons, I guess. Yaga says that Lord Tengen has the art of immortality, he is not actually immortal. When he dies, he will become an even more prominent existence due to some reason. Suguru also adds that when Lord Tengen will die, the barriers around their base and all their barrier techniques will be strengthened even more. It is because of him that they are currently able to complete their missions. But in the worst-case scenario, Lord Tengen could become an enemy of humanity. So every 500 years they renew his body, preventing him from evolving further than they can control. Gojo understands none of this, and frankly, even I'm barely hanging on. The girl we saw before will be the new vessel. However, two dangerous groups full of religious fanatics are also after the same girl. Gojo and Suguru's mission will be to protect her and take her to the Heavenly Emperor. Suguru is really serious about the task and the nature of the two groups. But Gojo is really chilled about the whole thing, which does not impress Suguru. So he asks Gojo if he can do the work alone. Gojo declines, but Suguru lied to him. He's already at the girl's location, but when he rings the bell, a hidden bomb goes off, causing a huge explosion in the building. Coincidentally, Gojo is also right there. Guess he wanted to be the first as well. Suguru protects himself in a rubber ball spirit when suddenly he notices their target, the girl named Riko, falling to her death. So Suguru summons some spirits to go and save her. Meanwhile, a man in a full-on military uniform, someone from one of the groups mentioned before, enters the destroyed room, telling him not to take it personally. Classic anime villain dialogue. But Suguru has managed to save Riko, thankfully. Down on the ground, another uniformed man, Bayer, throws lots of knives at Gojo, but he stops them all. Bayer claps, saying that he's impressed. Wait until Gojo claps you. Bayer wants to test if Gojo really is as strong as they say. Gojo says that he's not going to overdo it, as that would get him into trouble. So if Bayer just cries and apologizes, then Gojo won't kill him. Bayer becomes really angry at that insult. Meanwhile, the other group that Yaga mentioned, well, they're watching the whole fight from a distance. They bring in a dangerous fighter named Zenin. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.